everybody in your customary disciplined way, all back on time. I'd like to introduce Frank Kellenberg, VP and Global Head of Organizational Development and Inclusion at Sandoz. And he's going to talk to us about the role of the leader in cultural transformation. Frank?
Thank you. So hello, good afternoon. I'm happy to be here and share a little bit our story about the cultural transformation we are going through. And I will focus on the role of the leader in my short but hopefully inspiring presentation. I work at Sandoz, and Sandoz is a Novartis division, and I think that's important to know. I give you a little bit of context first before I go into the story, but it's important to get a little bit the frame in which we are operating. So we are, as Sandoz, we are part of the Novartis. Novartis is one of the big leading pharmaceuticals company, but as Sandoz, we are operating completely different models. So we are generics. We are not having these patented pharmaceuticals. We are selling the copied ones. So when it's not a patent anymore, then we are there, we are copying it, and then we're selling it. And we suffered a lot under the pandemic because we hadn't a flu season. So we are still struggling, so which is good for all of us. So we couldn't get the flu, but anyway, for us it was really, really bad. So we still trying to get the turnaround, but nevertheless, it's a complex world, and we heard a lot about what's going on around us, and it's also for us. It's over the last 10 years, it has changed completely the environment in which we are operating, and we are a $10 billion company, and we are a 10 billion company since 10 years. So is that good? Yes, on the one hand it's good, on the other hand maybe not for the future, because we need to grow, we need to be successful, and that means we have to launch products, because we, in our environment, we have a price erosion of 5% each year. So what does that mean? So we have around 40,000 products in the market, and we need to launch more than 1,000 products in the year to keep our level of revenue. So this is the world, and we are living and we are working, and it's different to Novartis, and I'll come to this a little bit later. In this new world, we need especially leaders who can adapt and can, operate and can help our associates to find the right direction, the right way. So we think, and that's important for us, that no culture change is without individual change. And we heard it also the last 2 days, that it's important when you have a movement, you need to take everyone, so each of the associates and the leaders with you to be successful. What are we doing, or what was the thing we were discussing? So we believe in personal growth, and we believe in lifelong learning, and that's also important when I come later to our initiatives, because we think that each of us should get the opportunity to grow for personal reasons, but also for the success of the company. So we need to enable personal growth for everyone. And last but not least, how do we do it? So we need to create the conditions for this personal growth. So we really need to look into our organization and need to find the systems and things, processes which we need to change to be successful in this cultural transformation. So, as a company, our culture is the sum of our parts. We talked about it. What is culture? And you also see it there. Culture is the way we're doing things around here. So, it's about behavior. But it's when we look into it, it's more for us. So, we also look into the purpose. And we heard about our purpose. I was a little surprised because we focused much more in the last 2 years. So, we worked on it, and now it's pioneering access for patients. And what is important when you look into the activities and initiatives we started is that we are, as a Sandoz division within the overall Novartis organization, we have a different purpose. So the purpose of Novartis is reimagine medicine. We don't reimagine medicines. we're copying it. So that's important. We need a different purpose. So our purpose, and this is really a purpose, and people, they love to work for this company to fulfill this purpose, is that a lot of people get access to medicines. And we have areas in the world where still a lot of people don't have this access. And this is our purpose, to give these people the access to this medicine. So it's different from Novartis, but it's something that helps us to identify, okay, where are the triggers we need to work on. We have a clear growth strategy. I explained it. So we need to grow. So growth is everything for us. So there's a lot of behind it, but I don't want to talk about our strategy. And we have our values and behaviors. And here it's important to get the context again. Here we are following the One Novartis approach. And I will give you an overview about our values and behaviors in a second, because all of this is our culture, and also the symbols and systems we have in place represent our culture. So let's have a look into our cultural aspiration. So we think that everyone should be inspired, curious, unbossed to fulfill our purpose. And we heard a lot about, how to create these kind of cultural aspirations. So these kind of values, inspired, curious, unbossed. And it was interesting. So it's not the first cultural initiative we have. So we also had a lot of cultural initiatives in the past, but it was under different CEOs. And with our current CEO, so Vas, we got this new one, and this is Inspired, Curious, Unbossed. He's a very inspiring and visionary man, and he's really representing this culture, and he's a great ambassador, and he's doing a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, on other social medias, and it's internal and external that he really lives, and he is incorporating this kind of culture. And he read some great books. He had some great discussions with external consultants, with thinkers, and all these great people. And then he came one day and said, hey guys, I think we need a new culture. And this is our new culture. It's Inspired, Curious, and Unbossed. So we were a little bit surprised about it, because we, and especially as P&O, which stands for HR, so we call ourselves people in an organization, we are not involved in this, defining this culture. So we were surprised, and then he explained to us and said, okay, we need people who have an impact, we need people who are willing to grow with the company, and therefore we need them to be curious, to learn, and we need unbossed people. And everyone asked him, okay, what do you mean by unbossed? He said, I don't know, I don't have a definition. I read a great book from a Danish professor, you can buy it. So we all got this get abstract, summary, and try to understand what's behind unbossed. And he said, okay, but this is just an idea, and we will together define unbossed, what it is. So there was a lot of skeptical people in the organization. What does it mean? Leaders said, okay, we don't need us anymore, so there is no boss anymore, we don't need to lead. And other associates, employees said, okay, that doesn't mean I'm my own boss, so I don't have a boss anymore. Can I do whatever I want? No, it's not. So it took us months, and it's still a dialogue which we have within the organization. What does it mean? But it is good that we have this dialogue, because this is at the end something where we involve other people to define it and to make it clear for us. And we at Sandoz, we define it differently compared to the rest of the organization. And this is good because it gives us the freedom to operate in this One Novartis model with our specific challenges in a different way. So we have this unbossed, and therefore we are really well known in the press and everywhere, because this is where the people are interested in. When they interview our CEO, they ask him, okay, what do you mean by unbossed? How does it look like, And it's an interesting dialogue we have internally, but also externally. And for sure, it's integrity. And now coming back to the change. So we believe that our leaders play a key part in creating the space and the climate in which we all can live this, or can strive for this cultural aspiration. So for us, it was important in the first step to focus on personal growth for our leaders. Why? Because our hypothesis is that leaders in continuous personal growth drive a positive working culture, climate, and ultimately superior business results. So this is still our hypothesis. We are trying to get some evidence for this. I come to this later. But this is where we said, okay, let's start with individual personal growth. Let's focus here on our leaders, because what we think is that our leaders, they really have an impact on their direct reports, so on the teams, and then we hopefully get all on board for the culture transformation, and hopefully also can deliver into our purpose and can improve our business results. That means we have to do some things for our leaders, and we need to create the conditions for growth. So we built our ideas on adult development theory, and we identified 3 areas. So we said, okay, we need to trigger experience, we need to activate the need for change. And here I don't talk about, okay, the environment or why we need to change. It's more about the individual change. Why should I change my behavior? Why should I behave differently? So that was important, that we offer something where every leader can check for themselves, okay, is this value for me to change my behavior in this new context, and what it is, and maybe why I can't change or why I'm not willing to change. So we have self-actualization here as a focus, and continuous practice. That is also what I gave you at the beginning. So we want to practice and want to become a development practice community. This is a very important chart now, because here you can see where we intervene and with what kind of intervention we support this personal growth. We start on the left with the me. So here it's our internal famous ULE, the Unbossed Leadership Experience, a development program which is a journey of self-discovery. So it's not that we teach people about concepts, theories. It's really that they go through a self-reflection journey for themselves to identify, okay, where are my triggers, where are my blockers, where are my patterns which are not helpful to behave successfully in this new environment. So, and I will give you a little bit more details on this on the next slides. But it was also important that we look into what does it mean for the we, so for the teams. So how can we support the leaders and the teams to feel, to experience this change? And we looked into our work culture. So we still try to make it safe to play, experiment, win together, fail together, and to bring your real self to work. And that's not so simple and not so easy, and you just can't write it on slides. So it's really that people need to they want to see it in reality, they want to experience it. And for example, I just mentioned it to some of you, we have introduced the choice with responsibility. That's our policy, that you can work when you want and where you want within the country you are employed. So this is something where we said, okay, we changed the work culture. We moved our offices from, in Germany, we still had a couple of years ago these single room offices, so which a lot of people liked, and then they said, okay, now we have open space, and now we have activity-based working, and it was really hard and tough to convince people, hey, here you can better communicate, you can collaborate, and things like that. So we work a lot on this culture, this work culture, and also with, for example, for us at Sandoz, with some priorities. This year we work on psychological safety. We heard about it, so that people feel safe, and safe to speak up, safe to ask questions, and also working on how we manage or how we handle mistakes and failure, and how do we win together, and how do we learn together. So this is all around the work culture, but we also try to support the leaders and the teams in the relationships. So we revamped our performance management. So we skipped our ratings. In the past we had a 9 grid rating, and we had a 3.3 that was 150%. So yeah, great, I get my bonus, and now it's nothing. So we have 100%, and this is what every associates get at the end of the year. And there is an opportunity to give these special impact awards, and this impact is related, how much impact do I have on my team, on my colleagues, on my stakeholders. So this is really, you know, how we collaborate, and this will be recognized at the end. And we also put in this new process, which we call Evolve, a lot of check-ins, so not these mid-year or year-end discussions we had in the past. It's really these regular check-ins where I can have a dialogue with my manager, where we can talk about different things, not just about our goal and objectives, but also about development, about well-being and all that stuff. So this is what we've changed, and also we integrated some team conversations. So it's not just the one-to-one process anymore. It's really that we have team retros where we bring teams together, so where team talk about the big, bold objectives they set for themselves, not just for the year, but for the next 18 24 months. And we include coaching as a leadership style. So we trained our leaders how to coach their people when it comes to development, how to give feedback, and also what co-creation and reflection means in terms of the dialogue with the associates. And system and symbols, we also redesigned our work systems. At the moment we are implementing workdays and related processes. We worked on the roles, the expectations of a leader. So we have a completely new framework which is based on the values and behaviors I presented to you. So we don't have different values here. We have just this one culture aspiration. And and with I mentioned it already. So with freedom, connection, and growth, we hopefully get this new environment where people get this experience that we really have a different culture. And this is all in the flow of work. So we say it should be integrated in the daily workflow. It shouldn't be just an additional process or additional effort, which is sometimes a challenge because the leaders, they complain already that they said, okay, we have so many tasks now, we also have to do our operational stuff. But this is also what we changed. We said, okay, you need to manage and lead your people. So it's not that you're an expert anymore. And we had the discussion about who is promoted in the past, mostly the best expert, you know, the best performer of the team. And this is also what changed our promotion process, our development process in the future. And then hopefully we can unleash the power of our people to fulfill our purpose. So just some more words to the Sandoz leadership experience. We overall in Novartis, we have 22,000 leaders. And we said, okay, that's a lot. So, but it's maybe a smaller population compared to 100,000 associates. So let's focus on our leaders. And here we followed the top-down process. We said, okay, first we have to convince our leaders that they're living it, that they're convinced about it, and that they also can be role models for the rest of the organization. So we start with our top leaders, and we cascaded it down. So a lot of leaders got this, who were part of this strategic group. It was before the pandemic. They came into the experience really to go through this journey by traveling around the world, supporting people, very small organizations somewhere, you know, and they came back after 1 week and said, hey, that was so inspiring. This is also what we need to do here within our organization. So it was really this self-actualization journey, and it was based on or built on immunity to change. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a book by Robert Keegan and an approach where he said, okay, let's identify your blockers, your patterns, which you have normally unconsciously, and think about it, make it consciously, and then work on this, and try to find your triggers and find your ways to change. So this is the important part of the Sandoz leadership experience, and we also integrated some models when it came to managing complexity and also polarities and things like that. This is for the strategic group, so we have externals who support us here. So it's a 18 months journey, and we have a lot of support by consultants. But we can't do it for everyone, so now we scaled it up, and we will 2023. Then we will we reached all of our leaders, so 23,000 leaders around the world, and with a personal growth experience at scale, we are more focusing on communities, on local activities, but also here the focus is on immunity to change, but also about the context in which these leaders need to operate, because when we go into the different regions, countries, then the context sometimes looks differently, and here it's really more localized from the approach. But the core of it, it's the same. For us at Sandoz, we decided to go a different way. So we started this journey last year with our leaders, and we invited 250 leaders. It's our Sandoz Leadership Management, which is 10% of our leaders' populations, and we brought them all together. So it was already in the pandemic, so we couldn't really travel. So we had virtual sessions, and yeah, we had big sessions, smaller sessions, peer-to-peer sessions. So it was a journey we are still in. So we have our next session in February 2022, and we will continue this journey. So we decided not to stop this development journey. So we don't have a program with a start and an ending. We will continue based on the work we did last year, and we will continue it because the feedback was very positive, and the leaders, they felt very yeah, appreciated on the one hand, but they also said, okay, it's good to have this connection with other leaders, to share experiences, to see, you know, how we as a community develop. So we decided to continue it. I don't know if Novartis will do it, but I think they're a little bit more challenged because they have more leaders than we have. So, and last point of my presentation is we also need to measure if we are successful and if our leaders change and really live our new culture. And we thought we need to ask different questions. So, or we need a different measurement, you know, to get the right answers or the right insights from our organization. So on the one hand, we said, okay, it's for sure our leader, and what are the triggers, and what are the topics they're working on, but also what kind of impact do they have on their teams, and at the end also on the organizational change we are looking for. We thought we need a new impact measurement, and here we look into different levels. So we have for sure the individual growth, because this is one of our beliefs that we have to do here something. We need to look into the teams and the organization as well. What is externally, how do they act with customers, with other stakeholders? We use all data we can get, so we have for sure surveys. We have a quarterly engagement survey. This is our voice. This gives us an overall direction, how we develop, because it's also based on our culture. We have based on our voice, we have something for the team, which is team perspective. This is an upward feedback from the team to the manager, and we have leadership perspective. This is a 360-degree survey, and we run this quarterly or twice per year. And with the leaders who go through the ULE, the Unbossed Leadership Experience, we do it after every session. So it's 4 times per year. And we use also other data we can get out of our culture activities. We have a lot of specific culture surveys. We ask as well as some data, and it depends a little bit on the country what is available and what we can use. This is an example of the first 269 participants, so our leaders who went through the journey so far. And what you can see here on the feedback they got from in this 360, they increase in all culture areas. So curious, inspire, unbossed, and what is also important, self-awareness. And this is where we were happy, so that we can see, okay, the feedback was very positive from the team, from the stakeholders, from the managers. And we also see that there are some areas where we really see a big shift. For example, I don't know if you can read it, it's about how we treat each other with care and respect, about decisions that are consistent with our values, how we give people freedom and choice, how to do their work, and also how we value other contributions. But there's also for sure something where we need still some work, where we need some improvement, and this is about how we manage mistakes and how we learn from mistakes, how we spend time, or leaders spend time on mentoring and coaching, and also how they ask for feedback. So there's still a lot of things to do, and we share this very openly with our organizations, so also with our leaders, and to know, okay, what we need to focus on in the future when we continuing the journey. And another thing is, and here I come back to the immunity of change maps. That is data we also use and we can use because we ask our leaders if they want to share it, and they were willing to share, because this is this is the approach that they very openly talk about. Then there are areas where they need to develop, where they need to change. And what you can see here, based on the data we receive from the immunity maps, we see the big assumptions. So their assumptions were that they need to be the boss by, and here being in control, providing answers, doing it myself, knowing everything. And we discussed with them, and we all clear that this is not an unbossed behavior. So also here in these areas we see they got it, yeah, and they identified their own improvement goals, and here they focus on self. Be an unbossed leader, be a better manager, focus on relationships. But this is also, when you look to the other slide here, at the moment the focus is on them. So they're still there to go into the inner work, and now we need in the next step to transform it so that they can also become better leaders and also lead their direct reports in a different way. So a lot of things to do, but I think we, as I said, continue the journey, so we are still not there. And the interesting thing is, last point, our CEO from Novartis says, okay, this is a cultural transformation. Our CEO from Sandoz always says this is an evolutionary process. I don't like the word transformation because I think it's a continuous evolution, and we need to work on this continuously, and that supports us in the decision that we continue this development journey together with our leaders and associates. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to our discussions later at the round table.